This is the RSI Smartcap. It's a premium topper that's meant to go off-roading, and I very much regret buying it, but not for the reasons you may think. Let me explain. Since the very first time this thing's appeared in one of our videos, we've had a ton of questions from you guys. So today I'm going to try to explain why I wouldn't buy it again and answer some of those questions like, well, is it waterproof when you take it through a car wash or when it rains? Do you like those gull wing doors on the side of it? What exactly is it and why did you get that thing? It's really, really expensive, so is it worth what you paid for it when you could have bought a topper that was fiberglass for about half the amount of money you spent? Those are all really, really good questions, and today I'm going to do my best to answer those. If this is your first time here, my name is Owen. We have a channel called Van Trekking Lifestyle where we travel around and make the most of being retired and RVing across the country. So why did we buy it? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Last year when we went to Florida pulling our Airstream base camp with this Tundra, we experienced quite a bit of sway, and almost all of that was our fault. The reason? We had too many heavy things in the Airstream and on the back of it on the hitch. So buying this topper let us move all those heavy things inside of here and get that weight off the camper. And we've done a video about how that was one of the key components that helped with eliminating the sway when we're towing. So yes, it really did help with that. When we made it to St. Petersburg, I started looking for a solution that would allow me to move the bikes and all the heavy things back here. We found a company called Florida Truck Outfitters that sold the RSI Smartcap. We thought that's really cool. We set up an appointment on February 16th to get it installed. We paid our own money to have it installed and to purchase it. It was $5,106 out the door. Now that's really expensive for a topper, but that money was supposed to buy really good quality, a long-lasting product that would hold up to the rigors of being out on the road and on dirt roads and off-roading and boondocking, and it came with installation. Now, I have nothing but good things to say about the Florida Truck Outfitters in Tampa. They did a great job installing this. They were easy to deal with in setting up the appointment, and they got me in and out of there in just a few hours one morning. Very timely, did a great job, and I was really happy as I left and went to our campsite at Fort DeSoto. On our way home, it rained like a mother, and I was worried, is it going to be waterproof? Is everything back there going to be soaking wet when we get to our next campsite? Because we had loaded this thing to the gill. The good news is, when it's raining, it's waterproof and watertight. We've yet to get any water in when it's raining. Now, when you take it through a car wash, that's another deal. You do get a little bit of water in there. But if all you're worried about is the rain, I think it's really safe to say, at least for ours, it's waterproof. Next, let's talk about these gull wing doors. Do we like them? Do they help? I don't know about you, but if you have ever had a topper that doesn't have a window on the side that's this accessible, then you know the problem. Anything you store up here near the front of the bed, you better need it really badly because it's difficult to get to. With these gull wing doors that go this wide, we can reach anything on the bed of the truck. It's pretty easy to move things in and out. And if you've watched any of our videos, then you know that we use this feature a lot. The other thing that we thought was going to be a really cool thing that we used a lot with our Echo are these molly panels that are built into the doors. In truth, we haven't used them that much. We've tried. We have these little loops that are elastic loops that we can hold chairs and other things up here on these molly panels, and we can open the door and we can get them out. But what we've learned is this. If what you put on there is really, really heavy, then the struts that come from the factory won't hold the door open. So it makes it really hard to hold it up, get something off of it, and then wrestle with the door at the same time. The other thing we've learned is maybe we're not doing this right, but straps that we've used and other ways we tried to tie things to this, when we get off on dirt roads and start bouncing around, many times when we get to our campsite or we get to where we're going to stop, things are laying in the bed of the truck back here because they've fallen off of this. Or worse than that, you open it up thinking that here's going to be a table and it comes falling out and hits you. So we hardly ever use this anymore. But these doors, These doors are awesome. Now, to be totally transparent, I had a difficult time convincing my wife that $5,000 for a topper was a really good purchase. The way I explained it was this, something she said to me many, many times in my life: you get what you pay for. And my thoughts were, that's what this is going to be. It's expensive, but you get what you pay for. And at first, that's exactly how I felt. Everything worked the way it should. It actually bailed us out so that we could get home with no sway issues, and it seemed to be a perfect purchase. But when we got back from our second trip with this topper, I started to notice something on the outside that began to concern me. On one of the panels, the paint was starting to bubble. I thought, okay, that's not really cool, but I'll live with it. So we left for another trip. We were gone 3 weeks or so, and when we came back, I pulled in, I washed it, which I need to do right now again too, but I washed it and I looked at it closely. That time, almost every painted surface on the outside had bubbling happening. These bubbles appear on just about every flat surface that's been painted black. Some of them are worse than others. Some of the bubbles are bigger than others. Some are pretty small. But what I've learned is this: over time, more and more and more and more of them began appearing. So I thought, for $5,000, surely this isn't something I have to live with. So I went out to ChatGPT to say, is this a known issue? And I was surprised to learn that it is. Many people have reported this issue to the company. And ChatGPT said, here's a link, fill this out, send them some pictures, and others have experienced them repairing it or replacing it. So that's what I did. I took pictures of it, very detailed pictures, and I sent it off to that link with the email address, and I waited. And I waited. And I waited. 3 weeks later, they responded back and said, pictures aren't good enough. Send us some more pictures. So I took even closer, even more well-lit pictures of it from every angle I could think of, and I sent that to them. And I waited. And I waited. We left for another trip. And they contacted us by email again several weeks after we'd submitted that second time and said, it does look like you have bubbling of the paint. We'll replace the entire thing. Give us your address and we will ship you a replacement for free. I thought, well, that's really cool. That's awesome. But then the more I got to thinking about it, I paid for installation. I paid for it to be professionally installed and balanced and put on here so it didn't leak. This thing is extremely heavy. And if you can't tell from these white hairs, I'm extremely old. I couldn't lift this thing by myself. So I contacted them back and said, I paid for installation. Either reimburse me for the installation if I have to pay for someone else to do it, or arrange for me to take it to a dealer. That's what I prefer. And I waited. And I waited. They got back to me again. It seems pretty like 2 weeks is a time period to wait on an email to come back from these guys. But they finally did get back and said, I found a dealer near you. They've agreed to install it for us, and we'll cover that expense. If it's okay with you, we'll ship it to them. They'll contact you when they get it. So I said, that's perfect. Thank you for standing behind it. We're really happy. And then we waited. And we waited and waited. We left for another trip to go out west. That trip was a long trip. And near the end of it, they said, we're still with you, but we're having a difficult time getting this one manufactured. So we continued to wait. And now here it is, almost a year after we purchased it, and they still haven't shipped it to this dealer. And the last time I reached out to them, I was told, we're having to manufacture it. We're running into delays. We're sorry. You'll just have to wait. Well, to me, if that was a $1,000 thing that I'd put on there myself and I purchased from Amazon, I would be okay with that. But this thing cost $5,100 and was professionally installed. So I can just hear you guys typing now. Some of you are going to say, that's what you get. Things don't last forever. That's what you get. Things are going to break. That's what you get. You buy something like that and you get it off of Amazon and you never know it's going to work forever. And I didn't get it off of Amazon. I bought it from a dealer of this company. I had it professionally installed. So you pay that much money for something, and I don't know about you, but I expect it to last. God, I expect it to last more than 3 months, don't you, before the paint starts peeling off. I guess that's just the way I feel about it. it comes down to this. From a perspective of how does it work, we love it. From a perspective of is it well designed and does it look cool on the truck? Yeah, for sure. From a perspective of will I buy it again? No. And would I recommend it to you guys? Well, let me just say this. I know of 3 of you who have sent me pictures of the ones on your truck because you saw it and you bought it and you said thanks. I hope yours aren't peeling. But if you're not one of those 3 and you're considering purchasing this, my advice to you would be this. Don't. Do the research, find a company that stands behind their product, and get that one. Now, when we change trucks, I'll get another topper. And if I find somebody I really like, I'll let you know. But for now, I don't recommend that you purchase the RSI Smartcap. And it's not for the reasons I thought. Isn't that crazy? I thought it would be because it's too heavy. I thought it would be hot. I thought it would be that it's just overkill for what we need. I thought it would be way too much money for what it is. I never in a million years thought it would be because the quality is not there and the customer support is very lacking. I hope I see you out here on the road. We'll be in this white Tundra with this bubbling paint job of a black paint job on the RSI Smartcap. If you don't believe it, come up and stick your nose right at it and look at it and you'll see what we see. Hey, maybe I could paint it and turn it into an aquarium and it could be bubbles coming up for the fish and stuff. And if any of you guys do paint jobs and want to do that, reach out to me. I'll see you down the road. Sorry for the rant. I'm Owen. By the way, if it was helpful, you know what to do, right? Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, we really hope you will. It means a lot. Makes an old man happy. And I'll get back to you. You leave me a comment, I'll get back to you. I won't make you wait weeks and days and months for me to get back to you. I'll see that you took the time to type it. I'll type something back. Now, if you're going to say mean things, our grandchildren would say, don't say mean things. Bubbling paint job. Crap, I could have done that myself. See you guys down the road.